Hey everybody out there in the YouTube universe, this is Mr. Movie, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another top 5. If you watch my channel, you know I don't do top 10s by genre, like most YouTube people who do movies. I do the top 5 movies by actor or director that are in my collection. Today's one, we're going to be doing a director. For the film to be considered, obviously it has to be directed by the person, but what doesn't count is if it was only written by them or only produced by them or anything like that. It can be all of those things, but it has to be directed by this specific person. Now, in this one, we're going to be doing the top 5 movies in my collection directed by Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest of all time, definitely in the Hall of Fame. He's got so many great movies. It was really tough to whittle it down to 5, but what I usually do when I get in that kind of precarious situation of trying to move it down to 5, I look at the rewatchability scale that I use when I do a movie review. It's from 0 to 100, and it's judged on how many times can I rewatch this movie without getting sick of it, or I do a comparison. I'll say, I got movie A and movie B. Which one do I watch more? And that's how you get higher on the rewatchability scale. So the 5 that I picked out of all the ones that I have in the collection, that I love all of them, that's what boiled it all the way down to 5. It was really tough. But without any further ado, let's get into it. We got number 5, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is a really big box set. It's got a whole bunch of extras. The reason for that is it's a really cool movie. I'm a big Aliens guy. I think they're out there somewhere. But that's not just the only reason why. I mean, it's visually stunning. I mean, all his movies are. But it's a really cool story. And the other thing, too, it's not the first Alien movie, obviously. There was a lot before this. But it was kind of the first one that was sort of realistic. Before it had flying saucers and green men and, all the stuff from the 50s and that kind of thing. But Spielberg took it a little more seriously, grounded it a little more, made it more realistic, and put the, you always have the one guy who believes, and I think he took that concept and said, everybody will slowly become this guy. You know what I mean? They'll eventually just accept the fact that they have to be out there. In an endless universe, they have to be out there. And what else is really good about it is it dives deep into the psychology of aliens, not the aliens themselves, but like people who believe in them, and the science behind it, and what their thoughts are, and the government, and all these different things that we're kind of used to now, for watching YouTube videos and all these different things about aliens and conspiracies and crazy stuff. But this was very early. It was in the 70s, and like I said before, the thing I really take from this movie is that Spielberg took it seriously and made it real, made it believable. Like when you watch it, you're like, you know what? This story could possibly happen. If this was how the first contact went, you'd believe it. You'd say, yeah, it looks like that could be it. This could be the story of how it happened. And it's just visually stunning, as I said. Great movie. Number 5, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Coming in at number 4, going to a whole different type of crazy. We're going with Poltergeist. This movie, when I was a little kid, it freaked me out a little bit because it's, little kid gets sucked into the TV, and, the other side, and ghosts, and, possession, and, the house gets taken over, and all this crazy stuff. You find out at the end the reason why is because they were insensitive, and they built these houses on, ancient Native American burial grounds, and the spirits weren't too happy. And again, visually stunning, effects that, still kind of hold up to today. I mean, and a lot of cool practical effects, like when the clown attacks the kid. I remember I hated that clown when I was a kid. I was like, if that thing was under my bed, I'd freak out. And he's fighting with it, it's wrapping around his neck, all kind of stuff. And then when they go in the girl's room and everything's flying around, and it looks legit. And then I love the whole there's another realm thing, and the poor girl gets sucked into it, and they have to try to save her, and they bring in these people, and this is, mind you, this is way before like ghost hunters and all that paranormal activity and all that kind of stuff. This was pretty new for that time, dealing with this kind of issue. And you feel for this family, you go through it with them, and there's some pretty terrifying moments, and it's really directed well. Like there's jump scares and stuff, but it's really like a slow buildup of what is going on in here, and then it just eventually explodes and goes haywire. And like I said, you gotta really feel for this family. You go through it with them. Ghost movies, usually not that great, but I think this is one of the first, real ghost movies, and it is one of the best. And it's one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies, and that's why it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Saving Private Ryan. This movie is tremendous. Usually people say, the first 20 minutes of this movie is some of the best action ever. People forget there's a little bit before that, but the 15 or so minutes that they're talking about, they are completely 100% correct. I think this is top 3 definitely of it's top 3 of this list, but top 3 of World War II movies ever made. I mean, first of all, the cast is phenomenal. Tom Hanks, great. I mean, there's so many people in this movie, and it really takes you, into the war. I mean, like I would say, that 15 minutes that everybody talks about of that action sequence, when they storm the beach, and as soon as they, the boats pull up and they open up the flaps, right away. I mean, guys don't even make it 2 seconds. The water is just red with blood after a while. There's dead bodies all over the beach, explosions, people getting their heads blown off. One guy, I remember vividly when I first time I saw this guy with missing an arm. He has his arm in his other hand, and he drops it because it's not his, it's somebody else's, and he's looking for his arm. It's just like, and the sounds of it feels like you hopped out of that boat and hopped onto the beach, and you're trying to make it, and your friends are getting blown away, and explosion. It's so intense and so realistic. I mean, the way it's shot, it's breathtaking. It's hard to explain how amazing that scene is. And then, after you're bombarded with that, you meet all your main characters, and they have to, this poor kid, he was from a family where all his brothers got drafted into the war, and all of them are dead. He's the only one left, and their mission is to go save him and bring him back to his mother, because they can't let all the brothers die. It's touching. It's a crazy war experience. It's shot really well. I mean, acted flawlessly. And it's just such a great war movie, and you really get invested in every character and their mission, and just sequence after sequence of great epic war scenes. One of the best army movies ever made, and one of the best Steven Spielberg movies. Coming in at number 3, Saving Private Ryan. Coming in at number 2. Now, it is Indiana Jones. This is all 4 of them. But this is what I did. I had to pick an Indiana Jones. Had to. I love them all. I even love Crystal Skulls. Some people don't. I do. I love the alien thing. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool story, and I dig Indiana Jones action, and Harrison Ford is the man. But I said, I'm gonna pick my favorite of the 4, and that's really, really hard for me because I love every single one of these movies. I would say Crystal Skulls is my least favorite, but I said, which one is my favorite? And I had to go with number 3, The Last Crusade. And the reason why is, I mean, you got, of course, Harrison Ford, but you also got his father being played by Sean Connery. You have all of the regular people that you're used to in the Indiana Jones movies, you know, the same great action, the same great witty lines, the same adventure. You know, he's got to find, you know, figure something out. You got the bastard Nazis in there again who he hates. But this time they're going for the biggest prize possible, you know, which is the Holy Grail. And, you know, the Nazis want it. His father was looking for it. He got captured, and he's got to save his father. He's got to find the Holy Grail. You know, there's people trying to protect it who are trying to kill him. They got the Nazis trying to get it and kill him, and he's got to go through all of this stuff, and it's just line after line of great dialogue and just amazing, Indiana Jones action that you always. You're always going to get in these movies, but you just add the added thing of Sean Connery, and they even, they started out as him being young when he was a kid. He was in the Boy Scouts, he's River Phoenix, and how he got into it, and the play off the whole father-son dynamic, that they love each other but they don't get along, but they do, and they're always trying to outdo each other. It's just, it's the perfect Indiana Jones movie. You got everything you want from one of those, sprinkled with Sean Connery. It's just perfect. The best Indiana Jones movie to me, and Indiana Jones, one of the best characters in fiction, and also a thing I love, as you know, period piece. They all are. And this was during the World War II, so another World War II thing. But it's just such a great movie. They all are, but I picked the third one, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, coming in at number 2. And coming in at number 1, one of the best movies ever made. The rewatchability of this is just completely off the scale, because I've seen this movie 10,000 times at least. If it's on cable, which it always is, I put it on, don't care where I catch it, because I've seen it and I know it by heart, and that's Jaws. What can you say? It's almost a flawless movie. It's one of the first movies I remember where the title sequence music is just stuck in your head. This came out, before I was born, and so I didn't see it in the theater, obviously, but I've read so many things that people would not go in the water after seeing this movie. Like, that's how terrified they were of it. I don't consider it a horror movie. Some people say it's a horror movie. I don't think that at all. I think, and it's sort of a monster movie in a way, but it's not really. I guess if you combine the two and just said, okay, this is a action drama involving a monster that's a real thing, and you're terrified of it. So it's all those genres into one, and I think that's what makes it so great. It's so many different things, and great acting, great directing, and just such memorable characters. So many memorable lines. When I did this list, I only did it to 5. I'm gonna need a bigger list. But it's just such a classic movie. I've seen it so many times, like I said before, and it's another slow burn thing where the danger is ever present, and you know what it is, but they don't really show it to you until you get to the end, and that whole last half an hour is just intense. And it's just so amazingly shot, and you're right in there. You feel like you're on the boat with them, and you just you don't know what's gonna happen. And the ending is amazing, because you think there's no way they're all dead. They're dead. That's it. And if you've seen it, which you probably have, it gets that one shot off, boom, hits the tank, blows up the shark. Amazing. We won't get into the sequels because they're not in there, because they're not good, but which is a shame, because again, what are you going to do? You can't top this. One of the greatest movies of all time, and definitely, in my opinion, the greatest Steven Spielberg movie in my collection or anybody's. Number one, Jaws. So, recapping, we got 5 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 4 is Poltergeist, 3 is Saving Private Ryan, 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and number 1, Jaws. Hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, if you like Stephen King, what am I just did a Stephen King. I did 2 of them. Go check them out. If you like Steven Spielberg, put it in the comments. Maybe you have a different list. You have a different favorite. You have other ones, I didn't mention. Whatever you want, let me know. And if you like this video and my content, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the notification bell so next time I do another top 5 or I do another review, you'll get alerted, and you can check that out too. If you like Steven Spielberg and just movies in general, share it with your friends, give it a like, get the discussion going. And this is Mr. Movie signing off, and I'll see you again next time at the Flicks.